nerd.
Oh, hello, guys.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, they're early.
Yeah, I'm not used to this. All right.
I know. Punctual. It's good to finally like meet you in person, Richard.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah.
Great. I've watched a couple of the episodes. Like I watched the entire Michael Gilbert episode. I think I watched all of JP's episode. It's awesome. I mean, you guys have just a total professional podcast going on. I mean, just great job. It's fun to watch.
Oh, thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we're just winging it, you know. So.
We're always surprised. We're always surprised when the word professional comes up for us. Like, all right,
right.
Hell yeah.
It's like the bribes are paying off. Yes. This is the keeper. This is the pre-show keeper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Hiram, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is that correct?
Actually, it's Joe. I have
Joe.
Huron's name on here still for some reason.
Okay. I mean, I can call you whatever you want. You know, people show up with all kinds of names. I'm just happy to call you.
Fixed.
Nice.
I don't know if you could see this
Oh, that's great.
sweet
Awesome.
poster. Yes. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to swing by and get mine next week. So
Yeah.
Our bribe is paying off.
That's right. That's right. We had a guest who was supposed to show up today and he blew us off, didn't show up. I don't know. I don't well, you know, hey, I guess I can say he's from a band called Non-Slaughter.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this was his second time. He didn't show up last time, he didn't show up today. So we're like, okay.
Well.
You know, hey, it's all right, man. So Vic and I was our last show. You missed Vic's last show, Dreadbull. So yeah, we just talked about comic books for an hour and a half. So hey, you know, that's what happens when you have no one show up and you're just gonna talk.
Yeah. I mean, comic books is just as easy to talk an hour with as it is horror. So
You know, yeah, exactly, precisely. You know,
Nope. And you don't have to deal with any band egos. So
that's right. Yeah, exactly. That's right. You know, we haven't had anyone. I mean, we started doing this about 18 months ago. Our very first like big metal, you know, interview was Carl Sanders from Nile, which, you know, that's pretty apex predator stuff, you know, and we've never had a problem with anyone coming off as being like arrogant or conceited. Everyone's been so nice and cool, and
It's been amazing.
it really has.
Even the vocalists, you know, all
Exactly.
those vocalists. Very cool.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's been really awesome. We're really so happy to have taken our little show and just where it's gone has just been beyond our wildest dreams. You know,
awesome, man. That's
it's been crazy. So
I'm sorry, I'm running around like a retard right here trying to get the lights straight.
Hey, get yourself situated.
Yeah, we're
JP did say he will be here, but he'll be late.
That's fine.
Okay.
No problem.
Not a problem.
He just pays the tardy fee. So
Exactly.
you know, exactly.
When he shows up, he won't stop talking, so you're good.
Yeah. Have you watched the episode with us with JP before? So
I haven't, but I can imagine.
No, he was cool. I mean, this has been awesome. You know, we have some people on our list that we are looking forward to talking to, who are supposed to be on. We're working with Nikki Law, who was at Metal Blade Records, and now she's doing her own stuff. You know, Nikki, and she's been really helpful and great in like getting clients for us, getting interviews.
That's
And
cool,
she's going to be on. She's our last interview of the season, actually, this year. We're taking a break after 18 months of like doing this week to week. We're like, okay, I'm burned out. I'm tired. Dreadbull does nothing.
Well,
I carry the weight of the show. You record it and edit it and promote it. You know, Dreadbull just sits back.
You finally got a full-time job, and now suddenly you're
two. I got two jobs.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I'm just
First
ready.
time in your life.
That's right. It's about time I made $1,
Right.
without doing something illegal, and keeping my clothes on for the most part, which is great.
Yeah, you know, you don't make what you used to there, so
No.
you know,
I used to get a lot more money to keep them on, put them back on.
put them back on.
Yeah, right. When I was dancing for Chipping Whales, back in the day. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should just kind of get things going. We're going to do our fantastic intro.
Cheesy.
Then,
fantastic.
Yes,
Is that what we're calling it now?
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic.
Say what you want.
Yeah. I think we've had some people who said, yeah, that's a fantastic, that's an amazing intro. So, and but it's awesome. And then we'll get the ball rolling. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Sure.
All right, I'm Susanna Capistaci, director of Night of the Zodiac, and thank you for listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Yeah.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, and this is not Chop Top, so I don't have a pithy little line to put in here. So it's
You're just gonna,
Dreadbull.
and you
I'll
just
just
gonna,
stutter my way through it.
you're just gonna pith your pants. And you are watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Well, kiddies, we're a little light in the co-host arena tonight, but that's okay. I, as usual, will carry the load of the show. Dreadbull's here for the good looks, Hey, but tonight we got a great show. We got Richard Clark and Joe Cady from Among These Asses. Richard and Joe, welcome to Heavy Metal Horror, man.
What's up, man? Thanks
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. This is going to be exciting. Now, JP was on a few months back, and we had a good time with us, and that's how Richard, you and I connected on Instagram through that, and because you had seen the episode with JP, and thought, hey, this is fun. We want to come on. So we love that you enjoyed what we do and wanted to be a part of that. So we're glad to have you on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you having us, man. It means the world. Like, seriously, anyone that's going to help us out and make us feel like rock stars, we love it. So thank you.
All right. Well, I mean, we're grateful that anyone wants to come on our show and spend some time with us. I mean, and seriously, it's like for us, there's no like judging us as far as like level. We're not like looking at you any differently than anyone else who comes on our show. And I think it's so everyone has a good time. I mean, we just like have fun, and we'd like to just have fun with our guests, and we have a lot of good questions for you. We have some good games we want to play. Don't worry, Dreadbull, we're not doing concert banter karaoke tonight.
Oh God, I was worried about that all day. So thank God. Okay.
It's a brand new game we're doing. It's awesome. But maybe they want to
awesome.
play. You never know. I mean, we'll have to see how things go, but it's a new game where I play a little clip, usually a rant from Paul Stanley or Bruce Dickinson, and you have to do your best imitation of that and do that rant.
Oh, shit.
I know, right? Who doesn't want to be Bruce?
But he already said we're not doing it. So
All right.
Yeah, don't worry. I know
Rest
tonight.
easy.
It's right.
Carl
Joe can do all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
No way.
Carl Sanders bowed out of that one.
Yeah,
so.
he just I don't know. Sometimes our guests, I mean, I can understand you don't want to throw anyone under the bus. You don't want to do anything because you might be working with these people one day. But I get it. I totally get it. But it's a new game. We'll get it working. All right. So I guess we'll just start with a nice background question. So when did you guys first get into music?
Go ahead, Joe.
Get into music. I was kind of born into it, honestly. My whole family, that's kind of just kind of guided me from the classic rock thing slowly into the metal side. I got a lot of old metal albums from one of my mom's boyfriends at the time, and it just kind of grew from there until I decided I wanted to play guitar and ended up screwing up my whole life, and here I am.
There you go. I like that.
Well, they always say have something to fall back on. So there you
Yeah.
Playing
That
guitar.
was based.
That's right. There you go. Nice. Excellent. How about you, Richard?
I remember distinctly, and I love this question. Thank you. It was the Black Album in '93. I think my uncle showed it to me, and that's what got me hooked on metal. And after that, I just started to really like guitar. And the album that made me want to play guitar, though, was Ozzy Live and Loud, and just listening to Zakk Wylde play those songs. That's what I was, because I had actually started playing and I quit when I was 12, and I heard that album when I was 16, and that was what that's what got me hooked. And it was just a passion thing, and ever since just have kept with it. So
Wild squeals.
Yeah,
I love-
exactly. All the squeals. I mean, he certainly has a unique sound. I mean, you know when it's Zach Wild playing.
Yeah,
Every bit as identifiable as, you know, Randy Rhoads, or, you know, it's just identifiable with that era of Ozzy, you know?
Yeah.
yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
I'm on the minority. My favorite Ozzy album is No More Tears. So
That album rules. That's my favorite Ozzy album too.
yep, it's phenomenal.
It's a great album.
It
Yeah,
is.
it really is. Got some great songs on it. You know,
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a newer, you know, most well, we usually have some we have a lot of wily veteran musicians on the
Mhm.
show. So, you know, usually it's Sabbath and, you know, all the old classics. So that's interesting that you're
Oh,
you're
I
kind of
mean,
what
we're going
really
Ozzy in
these are
general,
young
definitely
whippersnappers,
Sabbath.
Dreadbull.
yeah, like oh, these kids.
Who are
You
these
know,
kids? I'm
coming-
gonna have to start shaving next week.
The Black Album, cool. But no, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That it's something that recent. We're not used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool.
we're like, back in 1912, you know, yeah. No, that's great. And that's great that no matter what area you grow up in, when metal pulls you, whatever, you know, if you're hearing Black Sabbath, you know, from the first album, or whether you're hearing No More Tears or the Black Album, it just pulls you no matter what era you are in. There's something about this music that attracts its fans. So
It really
that's the next thing I would like to ask you guys is, what about metal attracts you to that genre?
Go ahead.
Shit, man. For me, it was a way to escape, and it was also something that it spoke to me for some reason. I don't know. I grew up. I grew up pretty young. I mean, I started, you know, paying a mortgage at damn near 15 years old. So, you know, as I kind of grew up, I was kind of thrown into the deep end a lot of times. And metal just helped me kind of escape from everything. It was there to get me through. It stopped me from being a serial killer, honestly. I was able to listen to the lyrics and not have to go out and be that guy putting people in the ground behind the house in 55-gallon drums and acid. I mean, what?
Yeah,
You
those
know,
are hard.
that-
Those are hard to get. You know, those 55-gallon drums.
I know, man. They're so expensive now.
Right.
And it's so strange because metal always is the stigma of the exact opposite. It's what creates serial killers. It makes people want to kill themselves or whatever. And it's so off base, you know, and the reality is so different. And everybody we talk to, you know, it's strange how things get stigmatized and
Because the
but
imagery that comes with it, they
Yep.
package these
it's
images.
true.
It
I guess
sells,
they, you know,
it
metal
sells
does embrace
rebellion.
it.
It sells, you know, witchcraft or whatever. But yeah, it's like metal is like a pressure valve release. You know, you get all that anger and frustration out and you work it out. Like it's no different than like going to work out in the gym or something like that. And then you just feel better. It's like, you know,
Exactly.
Yeah, some kids in school do sports and some kids do metal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You
I
know,
was not a sports person at all.
you need that outlet, you know, in
Yeah.
those years especially.
yeah, we played a lot of Dreadbull and I both played football in high school, but it was, you know, the paper, you know, those little paper
Yep, yep.
triangle
Yeah,
footballs.
flicking the little triangles.
Yeah, that was awesome. We did
That's how we got
amazing-
our aggression out.
We were amazing kickers. We
Uh-huh.
could kick it 20 feet. I'd like to talk a little bit about your musical heroes. Obviously, you guys have been in this band for a long time. You've been playing some amazing shows and stages all around the world. So, who are some of your musical heroes, and which of your heroes have you met, and what was that like? You know, meeting some of these heroes.
Go ahead, Rich.
Go first this time. So James Hetfield is number one for me. And it's been like, I don't know, I would say lately it's been like reinvigorated too. Like I really realized how talented he was. Just mainly as a songwriter. My heroes are songwriters. I really like Blackie Lawless. I would say he's another one as well. I love Wasp. And again, same thing for songwriting. And I hope I don't want to get canceled for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. John Schaefer from Iced Earth is a huge hero of mine. And, you know, that's just all with the music and everything.
Right.
And
We can
his
separate the
playing.
artist from the art.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, we're not here to judge anyone's political beliefs or anything like that. You know, I have to agree. I mean, I love all those bands too. They're strong songwriting. You know, Wasp has and they both have definable sounds, like they're very unique to them. Like, you know, when it's Iced Earth, you know when it's Wasp, even though they kind of gone through transitions. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, so man, I could go on and on with that. But those will be my 3 for today.
All right, Joe.
We're very similar, Rich and I. That's why we've been kind of bouncing in and out of bands together for years. But John Schaefer is actually one of my biggest influences in guitar playing. His right hand and his songwriting was a big influence on the way I write and the way I play. James Hetfield as well. My first experience live music was watching Metallica live with Guns N' Roses in '92. I believe it was, and it was phenomenal.
Wow.
And I mean, that was the door, the floodgates opened with that, and seeing Hetfield live was just like, I mean, still to this day is burned into my head, and I have so much respect for him. I did get to meet him once. I worked as a tour manager and guitar tech for Battlecross. And when we did the Orion Fest here in Michigan, James and Rob came over just to kind of, see how we were doing, make sure everything's going well, and then had the audacity to ask if they can introduce us. Like you don't have to
Fuck
ask.
no,
shit.
James. Come on, don't you have enough gigs to do? Jeez, hogging the stage.
Right. It was actually kind of funny. The guys came over to warn me, hey, don't yell at people coming on stage, because there's gonna be people coming on stage. Because that was usually my gig, don't get the hell away from my stage unless you're the band. But yeah, so I got to meet him, and that just reiterated the fact, because he was so down to earth and just laid back. He was interested in what Battlecross was at the time, and took interest in the lowly guitar tech, me, which was great. And then for the bass side, I mean, Steve Harris. I haven't met anybody in Iron Maiden, and I don't think I would be able to talk. If I did, I would lock right up.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
we got to.
Yeah. I've met Maiden a couple times. We both got to meet Bruce. And the first time I met him, the band, I was like dumbstruck. I'm like, I totally get it. But the second time I was a lot more relaxed and comfortable.
I wasn't, because that was the first time for me. We met him in Cleveland when he was doing his solo stuff.
Oh, for Bruce.
For Bruce, and after that was when Adrian joined him and his solo stuff.
Nice.
And
Accident of Birth.
played a small gig here in Cleveland, and we got to go and meet him after the show. And I had ended up. He had a water bottle that he threw at a dude behind me, but it hit me, so I kept it as a little memento. And
Nice.
he was pissed at a dude doing something behind me, and so I got that, and I had something to say to him and get him to sign it for me, my bottle, but it was just like. Complete babble came out of my mouth. I could not.
He was just like, bah! And they were a little afraid of him. He's like, hey.
Right.
I'm like, it's okay. It's medications.
My special needs friend here.
Yeah.
That's classic.
And then
Those
finally
solo albums
before,
are
and when it
badass.
came to meeting
I
those
love those.
guys, like we toured with them. We did somewhere around 38 or 40 dates with Guar, and I think it took me about maybe at least 8 or 9 dates for me to actually go up and start talking to them. And from there, it's just weird to be able to look at my phone and have like the drummer of one of my favorite bands in there, and I could give him a call or a text anytime. It's just
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy,
Yeah. Oh no, it's wild.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. The main thing with Maiden, if you ever do get to meet them, they are so just down to earth and just they're so super nice. Everyone was nice and gracious with their time. Yannick Gers is just really super cool, and everyone, it's just so low key, and it's the same thing with Bruce. When we finally did get to see him, I got to ask him like the question that was burning in my mind, like, what the fuck happened to Maiden after Seventh Son? Seventh Son was like the pinnacle of their power, and then they come out with like these 2 really kind of comparatively shitty albums. And I'm like, man, what happened? And he finally told us. He's like, well, there were some people in the band who wanted to go more of a classic rock sound. He didn't name names. He goes, but I could tell it was a sinking ship and I needed to leave. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, got it right from the horse's mouth, But so yeah, that's cool. But it's always weird meeting your heroes, because if it doesn't turn out right, man, that really just stays with you.
Yep.
So it
makes you not want to listen to it as much anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Lexi from Children of Bodom, I watched him take our album. I gave it to him, and he walked on the bus. I saw him just drop it right into the garbage can and walk into the back, which was awesome.
Oh man.
That just sucks, man.
That's rough. Yeah.
You know what?
that's
rough.
I actually harassed him about it when we met him years later, and he's just like, man, I got so many, and I had to stop him because I used to being the middleman between Battlecross and the audience. I used to get the records, and I was like, dude, I totally get it. I totally get it. But if at the time when I was, barely 20 years old and finally given him an album we worked on.
Yeah, what's your hopes and
Yeah.
dreams? Like,
Yeah.
they'll listen to it.
Yep.
At least he could have like taken it on the bus and then thrown it away at the next stop. It's it could have been nice. You're gonna throw it away. No, I get it. Yeah. So you'll have to go back into a couple episodes we've done before and hear my Gene Simmons story.
Oh man.
That's classic.
That's a good one.
That's why I don't like Gene Simmons anymore. But I got my revenge. That's all I'm gonna say. I got my revenge. So if that cunt ever comes on, he's gonna remember me.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Well, let's talk about touring. I mean, you guys are a touring band. So do you prefer smaller, intimate venues or larger arenas? Like from a fan's point of view, being so close to a band is really fantastic. So what's it like from the band's point of view?
In my experience, I tend to dig the smaller club gigs. So before all these bands, I was doing bands where we were just doing small clubs, and then I jumped on doing the other side, working for the band and that's when I kind of made it into the bigger areas. I'm the type of person who wants to hang out with the guys who came out to see us. If you're paying anything to come see the band, I want to be able to come out there and shake your hand. I mean, that's just part of my thing. I want to know why you came out to see us, and I want to hear the stories and all that. And I think you can do that more in a club setting. I've done Bogota, and that was the rock star thing where people are pounding on the side of the friggin' van and everything as you're rolling in and stuff like that. And that just scares the shit out of you. What are you gonna do with it? I'm like, all right, as an introvert,
That's a lynch mob. They're hate us.
Right.
Zombie
As
apocalypse.
introverted as I am, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm out. This is enough for me. And then you kind of like that dividing line of the guardrail and backstage, because you're like, man, I don't get chewed up when I walk out there, which ended up happening because me and the guitar player decided we're going to go check out and see how merch was doing and see if our sound guys are all right after we were done playing our set. And we tried to sneak around the back side of the arena, and one person saw, and the next thing you know, we were just mobbed and which was cool, but it was one of those things, freaks you out.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially in another country, you're not speaking the language. And so,
Nice.
but I'll take playing to a small club any day.
How about you, Richard?
Nice.
I am not a touring musician. I hope we get to that point at someday. But I'm happy to play in front of anybody. Honestly, I mean, that makes me very happy. I really enjoy playing music for people, and just to see people's reaction to music in general. It's very gratifying.
Excellent.
One of the cool things about this project is I wanted to put together a band for Richard to be able to actually experience that live metal feeling. Because, I've been working with Richard. I've known him for 20 years now or something like that.
20 years.
And, we were always just at that point of finally being able to go and play shows and do something. And then either a member would leave or something crazy would happen. So when this project kind of came together, the album came out and he's like, hey, I really want to try to get this going live. I was like, fuck yes, finally we can get him up there and do it. So it's kind of like it's a proud pappy moment when you see him jump up on stage.
Yeah,
and be able to
nice.
actually live it out.
Yeah,
music's great.
Oh,
Go ahead. I was just
go ahead.
saying, music's great, but it's playing live. There's nothing like it at all. Nothing compares. Recording records is great, hearing your song, but it's playing it live. There's just nothing like it.
Yeah, I'd rather play than record any day. Richard, I think's probably 50-50.
I like both, man. I mean, it's just, if my music resonates with somebody in any way, I mean, that is just the most gratifying thing to me. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask, let's talk about Among These Ashes a little bit and how this project came together. How did JP join you guys? And by the way, great band name. I love the names.
Thanks.
It's awesome. So whoever came up with that, good job. But yeah, could you talk a little bit more about how this came together? and what your intentions are, what you were looking to achieve with the music, musically.
Yeah, sure. And that's a really good question. So I mean, like, I've been working on metal songs for a long time, and then when I would say COVID is probably the reason why this happened, just because having the time to actually work on it. I had other musical projects. I did a southern rock thing for a little while, and I kept putting this metal thing on the back burner just because I mean, like, let's be honest, it's a lot more complex musically, and it's a lot more work to do. So I kept putting it on the back burner, and I finished the last southern rock thing, and I was like, okay, I need to actually get serious about it. And then COVID hit, and I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of time now, let me work on this. And Joe and I, we talk all the time, and I was like, I would like to find a singer. I sing, but I don't really sing like JP does, or like a lot of what I envisioned having sung on my albums, or having my music sang like. And I actually talked to him. I'm like, man, I really like Matt Barlow. How much do you think that would be? And he's like, a lot. He's like, JP's at home right now, you should talk to him. So he put me in touch with JP, and JP listened to the songs, and he liked them a lot and everything. And we worked on them, and brought him in, and he just, I mean, man, that just, talk about a guy who, like, I had a vision for what I thought it would sound like, but just the way the life he brought to those, the way he made them just turn into just complete metal songs is unbelievable. So I have a lot of music in me, and I really want to continue to write, and and play. And I think that we're all on board to continue to do that. So that's the vision for what we want to do, and what we want to keep doing with it, and move it forward. So, and I think he's on board with that, and that's what you're going to see from us. And we got stuff in the pipeline right now. So
great. Yeah. JP's a lot of great vocals on this album, a lot of variation, a lot of real good emotion that he brought to the vocals. Fantastic album.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. And, and I love the comment about the name too, because can I swear? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
No, yeah. We encourage it.
It's encouraged.
We've gotten shit online about our name being like this hardcore name, and I'm like, fuck you. You know what? Like, it's just it's a band name, okay? And you have an opinion about what the band name is, then whatever.
Right.
So,
I mean,
I think it's great.
It's no Backstreet Boys, but it does define. It gives you a heavier edge.
See, I'm the outlier there, because I remember for the early 2000s when the 3-band name explosion happened, and every three word band name was just the shittiest, boring metalcore you could ever hear. So my rule was always, it's got to be 1 or fucking 2 words, and that's it. And here I am in a 3-word band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
I was going to ask a little bit about the album itself, Dominion Enthroned. Obviously a concept album, kind of post-apocalyptic, which is cool. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I love it. And it's funny, I had on my notes, it reminds me a lot of like a Iced Earth, like sort of the Something Wicked saga. I got those vibes a lot listening to that album. So, and you had mentioned Iced Earth is a big influence in Schaefer. So I would say that's obviously an influence for you when you made this album.
Yeah, I love that album, and I love the songwriting on the entire album, but I mean, like, specifically that trilogy as well. And it's just like the songwriting for me is it has to embody it has to be just absolute. I have to love it. I have to personally love it, and it has to combine aggression with melody, and just has to be the best that I can possibly come up with at the time, and yeah, that was a great influence, that album. And as well as, I mean, like, so many different things come into my influences when I write, and it's not just all metal as well, but yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think
like,
his,
oh.
his background with his acoustic stuff, there's a lot of storytelling in this in acoustic songwriting and stuff, and I think he's able to really make that translate in the metal side really well, which I have a hard time getting behind a lot of concept records. I'm usually checking out about 4 or 5 songs in, but I remember with this, hearing it from start to finish and reading all the lyrics and kind of going through it and being like, oh shit, hearing it in the demo stage, it's like, man, this is going to be really, really fucking good. And then actually seeing the final product with the art and the way JP delivered the vocals and everything like that, it was just, you could tell he was able to kind of leverage that side of songwriting and make it happen. I mean, this is definitely, it's, again, I'm excited to be a part of it, but I'm more excited that Richard's being able to get his metal voice out there, because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, that album's the whole package, man. I mean, right from the beginning, that intro, that musical intro is so good. Yeah, I love the guitars there. There's such a cool vibe.
I
It
fought
pulls
to
you
put that
right
in the
in.
set live, so
Nice. Yeah, I love that.
Thank you
So
so much.
yeah. How about the story itself? I mean, this sort of is like a bioweapon got detonated and sort of society falls apart at that point. Could you talk a little more about the story and maybe what fed into that story? And
Yeah, let me start by saying, like, I had originally envisioned this album as like a zombie apocalypse album.
okay.
Because like when I was writing some of the songs, it was and it got put on the back burner. I was really into Walking Dead, and then I started to decide that like zombie apocalypse is just way too cliche. So then COVID hit, and I'm like, well, let me see if I can change the arc of this story into more of that. So it's more of this like the theme of the album is like the viral aspect of it, and the doomsday and the apocalypse is just kind of more in the background. It's more about how I perceive big government just kind of dividing people and that sort of thing, and how we can come together and defeat that and make a better world for ourselves. So this is kind of like I guess I would say an image of all that, and like told through the eyes of a character from the beginning to the end. So that's really what it is in short words.
Okay. Yeah, it felt like as I was kind of going through the lyrics and stuff, you're kind of like, plucking at strings of current events and kind of extrapolating those out, or kind of, almost a cautionary tale of what could happen. We've seen
Yep.
little the edges of it. And
Yeah,
it's not a
exactly.
far reach to think that things could go could go the way of you describing the album.
Exactly. And I mean, like, I'm very purposeful, and like I don't want to divide people or anything like that, and I think that at the end of the day, the message in that album is that we are stronger together, and through unity, no matter what differences we have. So that was the message that I wanted to tell on that.
That's a good message.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we are in a very divided, climate, politically, all kinds of ways, and that's what happens. That's what makes us fall.
Yeah, it's most definitely a message we need to hear a lot more of.
Yeah.
Right, the common ground that we can agree on, rather than how extreme our different views can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to be able to talk to each other too. Like if you don't agree with me, I'm not going to take offense to that. That's okay. And likewise. So but we shouldn't get violent with each other over those differences.
Yeah, it feels like we're losing the ability to just disagree peacefully and respectfully. It's like if you don't agree with me, you're a piece of shit, you're wrong, you're an idiot, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just
I think social media has had a lot to do with that.
Huge.
People get very
For
brave
sure.
behind their keyboard, and they could,
Yeah.
they just treat each other like shit. It's
Social
horrible.
media is the fucking virus,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Uh-huh.
too much.
And it's
yeah,
just,
anybody that's watched Social Dilemma, that documentary, that was an eye opener. I don't know if either one of you guys watched that, but it was
I have.
that was frightening, because it's all true. The power that social media has over entire societies. So
Yeah, Mark, I was just going to say the same thing. It's social media is really what causes that. So
Yeah.
if it was just us talking like we're talking now, or if we're face to face, I think we would be completely different in our opinions.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Meeting face to face, although people have seemed to gotten very brave in confrontational, but we just lost all civil discourse and common courtesy, respect. Those are things that we just seem to be losing, but it's still core value. But I think this kind of discussion and intercourse is the way, and discourse to talk, to deal with things and the most troublesome kind of things. This is the way to get past our differences and find out. But our government doesn't seem to be wanting to work together. But
Yeah, they're not exactly setting a good example.
Right. It's all about what can we get for our party, and let's party victory rather than, hey, you're working for us, all of you fuckers.
Yep.
And there's a lot of us out here who feel like you're not really taking us into consideration, and that's where the problem, some of the problems come again. So.
Warrell
So,
Dane
and
said
that's
it
like
right a
100%.
long time ago, and that was the media machine knows what to do. It knows how to feed the poison to you, and it's totally, I mean, that was almost prophetic the way he delivered that.
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question correctly. Like that was, I mean, we discussed it and everything, and that was pretty much what I was going for on the album, thematic wise and story wise. So
Yeah,
well,
I kind of had that impression, and you just confirmed it, so that's cool. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I was going to say, I heard a quote. I think
sure.
it was attributed to Mike Tyson, but I don't know if it really was him. But whatever the quote was like, he said, people have gotten way too used to disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. So if that was Tyson, that is words of wisdom. That's brilliant. And that's completely right.
Yeah,
Like
he'd be
said,
the one
behind the keyboard.
Yeah, he'd be the one. That would be awesome. He'd just show up. Hey, you're being disrespectful, Pop.
That dude has turned into a very wise dude, man.
Yeah, I know. You hear him talk. It's like it's just shocking because you don't expect him to be so savvy.
Yeah.
And then he did knock out a dude on a plane that was drunk
and
being an asshole.
Yeah.
I know.
Bitch slapped him.
Who the fuck is stupid enough to go into that to do anything to Mike Tyson? That dude's legitimately terrifying.
He is. I would just want to talk to him. Be like, oh fuck, Mike Tyson, this is awesome. Just to hang out and talk with him. Like, dude, you were like the greatest.
I'd love to talk to that guy.
Yeah, just talk whatever.
Yeah.
He's so interesting,
Right.
I can talk wrestling with him.
I'm not gonna take a chance on having him fucking break my face with his fist.
I'm not gonna piss him off.
No, man. There's just some things you just don't do, man.
Yeah.
I think that's how he got away with it. It was the clip. The TSA probably pulled him off, and they saw the guy didn't have a broken face, and like, well, he definitely held back.
Yeah, he took it easy.
Just enough to kind of quiet him down
Yep.
for the good of the plane.
Can you imagine that guy after that plane ride though? Dude, I got knocked out by Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, he probably wore that as a badge of honor.
Yeah,
that's probably what he was looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
I'm gonna steer the conversation back into music. Yeah, no, this is good. I think it's all we don't know where our show's gonna go. This is all part of the fun. We just love taking the journey, So what's the one thing you guys both really love about being in a band?
Dude, it's a brotherhood for me. I've met people through bands that are closer to me than the majority of my family. I've got my family I can count on maybe one hand, and my band family I can, I've got so many people if I don't even talk to for a year or so. There's times where Richard and I didn't talk for 6 months or so, but it's just like as soon as we come back together, it's just one cohesive unit. That's what I love about it, and then being able to go down and sit in a room and create something that is unique is definitely something.
I would say these guys amaze me every time we get together with the level of passion they put into the music that I've written, and not even that, just like getting ready for a show. There's a lot of stuff that goes into a show, and just the energy that they put into it and the passion that they have for it. I mean, it's just like completely unmatched. And, I haven't seen that in many areas of my life, not just music. That just that to me is probably I would agree with Joe. It's the brotherhood aspect of it.
Nice. Yeah, a band relationship is really quite unique. You know, it is very special. And because of that intimacy, I think that's why sometimes when bands like when things go wrong, it can go very wrong, you know, because those the love, the passion is deep and the hurts can go deep, you know. It's like a marriage, you know. I mean, that's a cliche, but it's so true, you know.
JP and I were in a band previously, and it fell apart, and not in small part due to myself and JP butting heads. But you know, it's because of that passion of and what you're doing, and it becomes so intimate at that point, and you've got to be in the right mindset, which I wasn't back then, and neither was JP. And he spent, God, it was like 2-3 years, you know, apologizing about what happened in that project. It was crazy. Like when he finally came around and realized that, you know, what I was saying was going to happen as shit kind of got more involved. It happened in other bands with him, and he started learning, and he says, man, I never understood. I'm so sorry. And it's like, dude, now you don't have to apologize for nothing. You know, just your family, you know, shit happens. And when it came time to find the project, had a band, Crimson Shadows, they lost their vocalist couldn't do a tour. And I was able to get JP to come in and do it without knowing the band at all, in about a week's notice, and jump on tour and knock out with this band. And then now he's close with those guys, and they're part of the whole brotherhood. It's crazy.
Wow, that's great. Richard, how about you?
Oh yeah, I mean, just more of what I was saying earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the brotherhood aspect.
He answered that already, Montag.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
He's not as long-winded as me.
Yeah. My senior moment kicked in. Hold on.
Or your edibles, one of the two.
No, I'd be really loopy. I try to not be high when we do our interview shows. If it's the other shows, I don't care. But you know, I'd like to try to be sharp anyway.
Hour later, you're like, I forgot to press record.
I know.
Yeah.
I do worry about that sometimes. You get those time slips, like, what the fuck time? How do they know I'm not talking? You know? Yeah,
how long's it been this quiet?
Yeah, that's great. Last question about, like, you know, fame and music. So who's your bucket list celebrity to meet? Do you have one? I mean, it doesn't have to be in music. Like, do you have a bucket list, or like, no matter what genre of entertainment, like, yeah, I would really like to meet this person?
Clint Eastwood.
Jeez,
Nice.
that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's another guy would be there'd be a lot of wisdom there coming from him, you know. You'd learn a lot talking to that guy.
Yeah, bar none, Clint Eastwood.
Nice. Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the Sergio Leone, the westerns, the trilogy, and just, you know, he's just, no matter what he's done, it's just it's great. You know, got some great cast lines.
Grit, man. Just straight up grit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No matter how old he is, too, he's still got a tough, gritty toughness to him.
Yeah, he's another one. He'd probably just be able to punch you and knock you out.
Yes.
You know? I may be 90 years old, but I can still knock your ass. Knock you on your ass, candy ass.
Punk.
You know? Yeah, exactly. All right. We're gonna talk about some hypothetical situations here. All right, you are on a desert island. What 5 bands' discographies do you want with you? So your desert island bands. 5 bands. You got to pick 5. That's the only ones you get. All right, Richard, you go. Since I asked you twice for the last one, I'll just ask you once this time, and I'll remember that you said that answer.
So I want to hear what you guys say too, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Could do that.
definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, we usually don't get asked by our guests to give answers. This is pretty great.
Oh,
Yeah.
my mind's racing.
Yeah,
now.
hold on.
Let me write
I'm
down.
not ready for this.
Iced Earth for sure. I've been like really into Behemoth lately, and I really like a lot of their stuff. So I'm gonna say Behemoth. Hold on, can I look at my vinyls real quick?
Yeah, man. go ahead.
Absolutely.
Shit, Rainbow.
Oh,
Nice.
good one.
How many am I up to?
5.
Yeah.
You got 2 left. That was 3.
Oh, I love Blackberry Smoke, one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah, those are good. That's good band.
Southern rock genre. Did I say Wasp already?
No.
No, that's 5. Excellent.
We'll go with Wasp.
Okay, Fandango. How about you, Joe?
I feel confident in those. I might if I had to answer again, I might change my mind.
It's tough
It's
to narrow down
hard.
to 5.
It's
man.
hard to give 5, man. I get it.
Right. I mean, for me, I already, I have thought about that, honestly. And I've always told people the first 3 Cradle Filth releases are on my Desert Island soundtrack. Vampire, fucking Cruelty, and Dusk, phenomenal records. It's like black metal Iron Maiden. So Cradle Filth would be one of them. Guar would be number 2. Metallica, Iced Earth, and then probably Sabotage would be my other one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Sabotage.
Dreadbull's a huge Sabotage
Fucking
fan.
Sabotage fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it, I want to change mine.
We keep on going. We keep on going back and forth with the guitarist Sabotage. He keeps on. I won't mention
We're trying to
names.
get him on.
He keeps on saying he wants to be on, and then I say, "Well, we got these dates open." I don't hear from him again. Then I talk to him again. I go, "Hey, you still want to be on?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to be on." I'm like, "Here's the dates," and like nothing. So I'm like, "Okay, we're
Which
trying."
one is it?
Right. I'd
Chris
love
Caffrey?
to sit down and meet
Chris
Caffrey,
yeah.
Caffrey, yeah.
Yeah,
I really want to have him on because Dreadbull will cry. Caffrey's like his favorite person
I
in the world.
probably
So
would cry.
I can't wait to see that. I want to see that.
Nice.
That would be one of those I just turn into a bumbling idiot,
Yeah.
just babbling, sit here
Yeah.
and drool.
I'm gonna zoom in for the show. It's just gonna be a zoom in of his face as he's sitting there.
Lip
gonna be
quivering.
awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Well,
Awesome.
Dread, I probably
Can I give you
overstepped
guys
my bounds,
just
but
a-
there might be some Secret Ashes stuff they may have to do with Sabotage coming up.
There you go.
What?
I was just gonna say that.
Oh,
nice.
That is-
Wow.
That's a nice little nugget there.
That
That's
is.
exciting.
We got 3 weeks, and we got a big buffer between the shows. So if it happens in the next 3 weeks, you're safe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, remind Mr. Caffrey. Hey,
Yeah.
Montag. Gentle nudge
Yeah.
on that one. No, that's awesome. Well, Dreadbull, do you want to do your 5?
Sure. And I was thinking instead of Desert Island, we should change this to like Zombie Apocalypse.
There you go.
And
Yep.
You got to go to the
Right, to
bunker
more-
and
yes,
take
The
some-
yes.
compound.
a little more
All right.
metal. Yeah.
A little more metal-y? Okay, you got it.
So me, yeah, man. Okay, I got to put Sabotage in there now that you mentioned it. That would have made it anyway. Huge Dream Theater fan. Absolutely
Nice.
love Dream Theater. So I got to take their discography. Maiden has got to be part of it. That's my first love in metal was Maiden. After that, I love Nightwish. I like a lot of the European, some of the European sort of goth metal stuff. I love Nightwish.
Yes.
Boy, no matter what I say here, I'm gonna wish I would have said something different, probably. So there's so many.
5 is tough, man.
It is. Trying to get a cross section. God, I don't know. I want to look at my collection now. I'll say
Backstreet Boys.
take
no.
something, some class. Man, I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I could say Metallica. I'll go with Megadeth instead. I feel like I go back to Megadeth more often than Metallica.
Nice.
Revisit some of the older stuff. So I'll go Megadeth in there too.
All right.
Solid.
For my 5,
you.
definitely Maiden. Rush is my favorite band.
Oh,
of
Rush!
all
Damn
time.
it!
Yeah.
Damn it.
How dare you forget Rush, you bastard!
They're like Dream Theater Light, so I've got Dream Theater. Slightly heavier version of Rush.
Dream Theater Light. Oh man.
Well,
so we got,
music.
yeah, we got those 2. I'm gonna also say Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Which
interesting.
go back
Okay.
old stuff.
A good one.
And then Black Crows.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I just love Black Crows, and then Steely Dan.
Nice.
Because
Okay.
because sometimes you got to have a nice calm
Yep.
vibe.
A little more
you know?
eclectic choice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that represents a lot of different styles musically. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
grew up listening to CCR. My dad was a huge fan, so I grew
Same.
up, traveling band. Yeah, your dad too.
Mhm.
It's just like CCR is one of those classic American rock bands that is just going to be around forever. At least in my book, I'm going to listen to it till I die. So, I got to represent all those things. But I mean, I'm missing out on the other great bands like King Diamond or Merciful Fate and
Yes.
Slayer. I mean, there's just so much out there.
Oh,
that you can
yeah.
bring in. It's just impossible to do with 5.
I'd probably die before the apocalypse trying to figure out what I'm taking with me.
Yeah, the zombies will get to you while you're looking through
No,
your
when
collection.
one more box set. Ah!
It's funny actually, the CCR thing, like when we were touring, the guys knew when I was extra tired because I was usually the night driver, because that's usually when CCR came on. It went full blast while everybody was sleeping and my head's hanging out the window, just fucking screaming CCR stuff. So
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That band does have an energy to it. You know, I could see
Yeah,
it
undeniable.
keeping you rolling, you know.
And there's a brand new documentary coming out, and it has a concert from 1970, I think Prince Albert Hall, that we thought was lost, and it's been found, it's been remastered, and it's being re-released. Yeah, they were interviewing John Fogerty about it, and talking about the breakup of the band and all these things. So like, I'm really looking forward to checking that out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his voice is so definable, you know, it's one of those voices that stands out, like it just defines that band, you know.
The whole band, the whole sound of that band is one of a kind.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna transition, because I know, Richard, you're a horror fan as well. We were chomping at the bit. We were wanting to talk a little bit about horror fans. So, so I'll ask both you guys, like, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
Absolutely number one for me is, well, shit, I shouldn't say that. It's like tied for me. The
Top
Thing.
5 horror bands that you listen
Ooh,
to horror movies to watch in the zombie apocalypse.
The Thing with Kurt Russell in it. But I also really, really love the original Dawn of the Dead from the 70s. I think that movie is just awesome. I mean, it's horror, but it's also fun. They're just like running around this mall, grabbing a bunch
And
of
social
shit, having a good
commentary.
time.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
A lot of
Nice.
social commentary too.
Right at his fingertips. Boom.
Yeah. Can that be 1, 2 tied for 1? So technically I have 4.
You can do as many as you want. There's no number on this one.
Well, I have to shut up eventually. So
Well, we got time. But you got time.
let's see what else. The Fog. I love The Fog. I guess I'm gonna go with Amityville from the 70s, the original
nice.
one.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one
That
too.
movie scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I read the book. It was like, fuck, this Jody the pig. I'm like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
you know?
You used to scare me about that damn pig, or something about red eyes, like when we were young.
They would
when we
stare
were
at you through
kids.
the window, right?
Yeah, you're always there's red eyes outside the window. It scared the shit out of me.
Dreadbull and I have known each other for about 45 years. So when they were little kids, little tiny metalheads.
We were single digits when our dads worked together, so they became golfing buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
That
how we
house
met.
is only probably a block and a half walk from the Revolution venue in Amityville. So
cool.
it's
Is
kind
it
of
like a
excursion.
museum or anything? Is
Hell no, the people hate when people come out in front of it. They actually got rid of the windows and everything. Changed the whole look of it.
That's a definable look. Those windows, man. That's how
absolutely.
you know. Oh man.
I mean, why would you live in a house like that? You know what's going to happen. You know,
Right.
Right. You're buying the
tourists
Amityville house. It's like
Yep.
my fucking base motel. You know people are going to swing by.
You might as well embrace
make
it.
the front porch a museum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. Right. Make some money from it. You know, charge $1 to get a picture. You know, who knows?
Right.
I kind of want to hear what you guys like as well on this one too.
All right. Well, Joe, I'll ask him first. Joe, are you into horror at all?
You know, I'm not as big of a horror fan as I am like the sci-fi fantasy side, but Alien, the first Alien, that one gave me nightmares as a kid just from the claustrophobia side of it. You know, and I used to, when I was a kid, it used to scare the shit out of me. Now I just love the xenomorph style and hate the fact that they've kind of ruined it. But Dawn of the Dead, anything Romero, of course, you know, I remember seeing I saw Day of the Dead first, I think, and it was probably like 88. I think I was about 8 years old, got it from a video store, and just remember it was weird. It was like watching a horror movie, but I took away more from it than I did from like just the normal action movies and stuff I watched. Like there was more things that made me think about.
Yeah, because it's a slow movie.
Yeah, and it opened a
talking.
lot of things up, and that also is why I liked those type of zombie movies. Is that slowness makes you more afraid of who's around you, more so than the actual horror that's in front of you and what they can do.
I love the Romero zombies. I'm not crazy about like the zombies that run. The rage zombies from 28 Days Later.
Those are the only ones I'll give a buy on, is the 28 Days Later one, just because they're not really zombies, and I really like that movie.
Yeah,
but that's
right.
That was my draw the line.
Yeah, kind of like World War Z. It's a virus virus. It's a, and that all goes back to Richard Matheson, I Am Legend. I don't know if you've ever read that, but it's one of the books I teach in my English classes. Because he started that whole trying to give a scientific explanation for the vampire.
Yeah.
And then it became the basis of Night of the Living Dead. Romero picked up on that, like, hey, we can do this virus thing too. And everything for the last 60 years, pretty much 55 years, has been virus related,
Yep.
So,
and then the original Nightmare on Elm Streets, the classics, like those, and the Friday the 13th, those as a kid, especially in the 80s when I wasn't even in my teens yet, seeing those movies without the parents really knowing, and you got to see tits for the first time, and second off, you got to see people just get cut up, and you're like, your whole world just opens up.
Yeah, a lot of conflicting emotions. Like, I'm not sure which one I like more. I know they're kind of great.
That's why
these two worlds, they fit together like peanut butter and chocolate.
Another one that's kind of newer that I really liked was Quarantine.
Okay.
That was a solid kind of like thriller / horror type thing.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've been watching horror films since I can remember. I mean, I was like 4 years old and I watched Horror of Dracula, the Christopher Lee, Hammer films, and that film still scares the shit out of me. That and The Mummy, when he walks out of the swamp, I'm like, Jesus fuck, that just scares me.
Yes.
So I grew up with that and all the Universal stuff, the Wolfman and Frankenstein. I just love those movies. I feel like a kid every time I watch them. Dawn of the Dead is like the holy of holies for me. That is one of my favorite movies. I saw it when I was like 16 at a midnight showing, and I'm like, oh, it just changed my world. I'm like, oh my God, this movie's awesome. So I immediately started working on a sequel, my own sequel to Dawn. I was starting to write the novel, which was shit, by the way. Obviously. But that I love, Alien. That first one is like a haunted house in space. And I love a lot of foreign horror. There's so many good movies, not just the J-horror, the Korean horror. There's a lot of great stuff coming out of the UK. I thought The Ritual was fun. I love the Descent. I thought was really great.
Oh man,
yeah. I used to watch that with my grandma. She loved that movie. She's like, she was telling the girls, she's like, don't go in that cave, Yeah, she loved Chucky. My grandma. I could not watch. She couldn't be scared. I'd bring her like The Evil Dead, and she's just loving it, and her neighbor's like, "Watch out, Miss Justice! Someone's gonna get their head cut off." And she's just sitting there watching it, and like blood and guts everywhere, and they're just laughing, And she loved Child's Play. She's like, "Well, that Chucky, he's got real pretty eyes, but he gets awful mean." Like, yeah, Grandma, he does. But I love science fiction as well, classic sci-fi. The Day the Earth Stood Still is one of my favorite, and The Thing from Another World. I love The Thing too. I mean, it just, I don't like the torture porn. I don't really get that. There's just nothing to it in there for me. And I just don't, most of the American remakes of the foreign horror are not good, except the Let the Right One. And I thought that remake was actually really decent, but I'm willing to look at anything. So this season for Halloween, Mrs. Montag and I, for all the month of October, we will watch a horror movie every night. So this year's theme is world horror. So we're starting off with Dog Soldiers.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a great one. Have you guys seen
movie?
You guys seen Dog Soldiers?
Not that I remember. I don't think I have.
Yeah, give it a
That's
try. It's really good. Yeah, Dog Soldiers. And I like when horror movies can blend horror and comedy.
Yes.
Well, not all of them can do it successfully, but when you can find ones that do, that's just something special.
That's what I was going to say when you were talking about the Universal monsters. As a kid, one of my favorite movies ever was Monster Squad. Because it was Goonies with the classic monsters. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they look amazing.
Dude, when
I remember being sad at the end, the Frankenstein's being pulled into the portal. I'm like, I'm sad. I'm like, no, yeah. Monster Squad is great. It's every monster kid's fantasy,
One of my stage shirts is actually the red Stephen King Rules, like crappy 80s shirt that the kid used to wear in that one.
Oh, cool. Nice. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So of all the horror movies you guys have seen,
hey, I didn't do my.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah,
I skipped you because you're not a horror fan. You're not.
I am kind of a horror light fan, I would say.
Yeah,
and
horror light.
And actually, you guys mentioned a number of them, but yeah, The Thing. I thought the scene where they're all strapped to the table and that guy kind of turned into like a dinosaur head and they're all screaming trying to get away was absolutely horrifying, man. Just being trapped like that and this damn monster is forming right next to you on the bench. The alien, the claustrophobia of that and it just being trapped in there with it, like Bishop crawling through that little duct, But a couple though for me in Amityville, but The Shining really scared the
yeah.
hell out of me too.
Yep.
The little creepy little sisters,
Mhm.
And for me, not a movie, but the Twilight Zone always scared the hell out of me. Something about the music of that. There was always a weird vibe to that show, and every time that came on, that was a creepy ass show. So,
Yes.
Yeah. Those are pretty gentle, but when you're a kid and susceptible,
Yep.
I mean,
I
whatever
was
it is.
really young. And
Yeah.
I think maybe my parents didn't really watch that much, but it would come on if you stayed up late, and
Mhm.
it was creepy
Nice.
stuff.
Now I know what they get you for Christmas, the box set.
Yeah.
So of
Yeah, I
all
can
the
give you
go
a
ahead.
little glimpse into our next album. Is going to have a brief concept about sci-fi, otherworldly horror towards the end.
Oh, nice, man! This is getting better and better.
I know. It's like,
all right.
yeah, I love that.
I like
That's
these little
fantastic.
teases.
Yeah. What's the scariest horror movie that you've ever seen in your life?
And the one that actually got me to emotionally react was probably The Exorcism of Emily Rose, because I saw it when I was young, and they had that 2:00 burning thing going on, and I used to wake up thinking that was actually happening to me.
Oh wow!
Nice. All right. Yeah, that stuff gets in your mind. How about you, Joe? Scariest movie?
It's not a very scary movie if you watch it now, but as a kid, it was an '80s B movie called Invaders from Mars, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, it was the remake. Yeah, with Lorraine Newman.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my uncle's farm had that exact looking back area where that ship was. So, and I used to have to sleep out in a tent in that yard.
Oh,
And so after seeing that movie and then being out in that tent, that still gives me nightmares to this day. And then with the teachers and then the weird brain looking alien guys. And yeah, that was one that stuck with me. Now I watch it and I'm like, no, what the hell was I afraid of now? But,
Sure. No, I get it.
But if I go now, it's when I watch things like The Walking Dead and things like that, because I'm more scared of the motherfucking people around me than I am the monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. People can be more evil than any monster could be. Monster has no reason. That's their job. I mean,
Right. Yeah, we started seeing that turn in horror in the early '60s, like with movies like Psycho, and it was became the monster from within, not the monster from without. Yeah, I think my scariest movie still is The Exorcist.
Yep.
I was about 12 when I saw that. And that was just a TV version. And growing up in a very religious fundamentalist household, thinking, this is a doorway, this is a gateway for Satan's going to possess you tonight. I slept on, with the lights on, the radio going for like a week. I was just scared shitless. And that's the only movie that I will not watch alone at night. It's like, nope, if I'm going to watch it, it's going to be like 8 in the morning, so I have plenty of time to like decompress and plenty of time to watch SpongeBob to make the bad thoughts go away. So all right, just the last couple questions about horror. We got Halloween coming up next month, so what is your favorite Halloween costume that you remember as a kid?
I had this gnarly ass red skull mask that I got when I was like in 5th grade, and it had like a skullet thing going on and everything. That's probably the most memorable one to me.
For me, I think it would be my mom used to do elaborate costumes when I was in elementary school, when she used to be able to be around for it. And she one year did me up like the Mummy, completely wrapped up, and it was pretty elaborate to the point where we didn't think about how I was going to be able to take a piss. So that was
the yellowing is just aging.
Yep,
right.
It was an issue because about halfway through the day at school, I realized I couldn't take a leak.
Oh wow!
Because it's so small.
Right, exactly.
Yes, that's friendship right there.
Alibi real quick.
Yeah.
So I told my mom one time that I wanted to be the Wicked Witch of the West, and she actually got me all dolled up like that when I was a kid.
Nice.
That was last year.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that is one movie that I will not watch, man. That Wizard of Oz, it just freaks
Yeah,
me
that's
out.
creepy
That's
as hell
actually a
too.
scary movie.
Yeah, those damn monkeys, and
Yeah.
there's just something odd about the way it looks. And I hate fucking
Mhm.
Dorothy. She's so whiny, just a whiny bitch. Just shut the fuck up, man. Oh, I can't get home. Shut the fuck up. You're with the fucking munchkins. They're gonna take care of you. Just shut up.
Trust in the Munchkin.
That's right.
Right.
Right. Get the lollipop guild. So just shut up. All right. Last question about Halloween. What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Go ahead, Joe. I need to think about this.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was when you get to the house and they were giving away full candy bars. It wasn't really one or no, it's when they gave you the full ones. It was like, fuck yes. I need to go home and change my costume and come back to this house.
That's fantastic. I got 10 shirts. I can come and get 10 candy bars.
Damn right.
That's
as I became
awesome.
a late teenager, almost 18, I would definitely do that.
Nice.
You gotta
Yeah,
cash
man.
in, man.
Free candy. You bring out that pillowcase.
Yep.
Your candy bag gets bigger and bigger every year because you can carry more.
Aren't you a little tall to be trick-or-treating?
Oh, that's part of my costume. I'm on stilts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. All right, Richard, your favorite Halloween candy.
Definitely Reese's.
All right. Cups or pieces?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we're gonna do some one-offs. These could be questions about anything. All right. Can you remember the very first album you bought?
Shit, I can't. Can you remember, Joe?
Fuck. I think I stole Skid Row, Slave to the Grind from Harmony House as my first record that became my own.
Good theft. That's a good quality theft.
Yeah.
That might be the best question I've ever had, like
Yeah,
in
that's a
an
good
interview.
one.
That's an awesome question.
I
Like
don't think so.
I think, and like Joe's is way better than mine, but I think mine is Bush 16 Stone.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
really, they remember,
Mhm.
I remember they hit the scene. Yeah, okay. Well, who are some of your favorite writers or your favorite books, if that's easier to answer?
For me, and I don't know. I think I might have seen it on Dred's bookshelf back there, but I was really a big fan of like Margaret Weiss and Hickman Dragonlance stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like you have them up there in the
Mhm.
corner.
I
Yeah,
do.
Dreadbull. Yeah.
There they are.
Yep.
Yeah, we spent a lot of years playing D&D back in the day.
Yes,
did.
That's
yes.
how we learned so much about being brave.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. how to not crit fail or
Yeah, and how to not get women.
exactly.
We learned everything we
Still
know
good
about
at that.
That's
To this
right.
day.
Absolutely.
You can't have both.
No,
So
not in
those
high
were,
school.
Those were always a good one for me. Lord of the Rings, of course, as a kid. And also as a kid, I loved Robin Hood books. I can't remember there was one called Outlaws of Sherwood. I don't remember. We probably got it from like some Scholastic book club thing or whatever. I can't remember the author, but I
Oh,
still
those were
have it.
great days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I still read that from time to time. And then it went off the deep end, and I started reading true crime stories and stuff like that, and reading up on serial killers and scaring my teachers. And yeah.
How about you, Richard?
Favorite book, I would say Anthem by Ayn Rand. I
Mm,
like that one a lot.
wow, that's heady stuff.
Yeah.
And I hardly ever read anymore, but I like a lot of military biographies. So I read Chris Kyle's book, and then what's the other guy's name from Lone Survivor? I can't think
Oh,
of his name.
right. Yeah.
Mark Luttrell. Both those books were really good. So
Yeah, and
I
those
like-
and the
Nice,
movie
yeah.
versions are good. They're heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I mean, you just
big
really
time.
want to just thank these guys for their service and
Yes.
everything that they do for us and keep us safe. So,
absolutely.
yeah. Okay. What is or who is your favorite cartoon character?
Cartman.
Cartman.
Okay,
Nice.
nice. There you go.
On the spot, I would say Brock Sampson from Venture Brothers.
Oh, wow.
Okay, nice. All right.
That's-
What one song do you wish you'd written and recorded instead of the group who did?
Oh fuck.
Man, you go first again.
Fuck.
Is this another way of asking which song could you do better?
No, No, because I don't. That's the problem. Is like I don't do covers because of that.
Yeah.
I
Shit,
agree 100%.
That's
I
gonna
know.
take a minute.
I'm gonna go with Blackened by Metallica.
Mm,
I love that
great
song.
tune. That's a
Mhm,
great
mhm.
tune. Yeah.
That's a good one. Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
You know,
Mhm.
that it's just, to this day, no matter how many times I've heard it at the end of, if I don't hear it at the end of an Iron Maiden set, I know the world's ending.
Okay. Yeah, they pretty much play it. It's like one of their favorite songs to play too.
Yeah, and I can
you
I
know.
can rope it back in with my Desert Island too. Cradle Filth does a really fucking good cover, and I usually hate Iron Maiden covers. So
Yeah, they got a couple albums of Maiden cover albums, which are I like hearing people's takes on it.
I think that was on my top 5 of we did song covers by different
Right,
bands.
right. Yeah, we
I think
did
that was
our
on my list. That Cradle
Doppelganger.
Filth cover.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a
one
great
and Typo
idea.
Negative's Black Sabbath is fucking phenomenal.
Nice. I like who was it? Anthrax does a cover of
Yes.
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Yep.
I think with Bruce Dickinson.
So does
singing.
yeah, Bruce. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Bruce. It's not Anthrax though.
Isn't
It's
it?
no. I forget the name.
Typo
of the band.
Negative? No. No.
I forget the name of the band, but yeah, that's a great cover.
Anthrax they do a couple Kiss songs. They do oh fuck. I can hear it. I'm just playing it through my mind. Parasite. They do a cover of Parasite live. Yeah. And so when back in the John Bush days, when I saw them, the World Series of Metal, like it was like Anthrax and Cannibal Corpse and the Misfits were like the 3 headliners, and that was like a fucking amazing show.
Run. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was great. Okay.
And then Dream Theater, the Overachievers, do entire albums. They just do the whole damn album. Let's do all of Number of the Beast all the way through.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon. Let's do the whole thing.
Why not? Yeah. We're in here for 2 nights. Let's learn an album today and play it tomorrow.
Play it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We're trying to work on Dream Theater. We're trying to get them on here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be nice. Okay. Do you have any hobbies like outside of music, like something hobby that you enjoy doing with your time?
So I train dogs and I bird hunt. That's my other thing that I do. My other very expensive hobby.
Nice. So you're out in the boonies.
You've trained dogs to
Yes.
like hunt birds. You're looking at
Yep,
like
I have
German
2
short
bird
hairs and
dogs.
things like that.
I have 2 fox red labs, and I trained them to bird hunt. And this fall is our time together. I mean,
Nice.
I spend a lot of time with my dogs and everything like that, and we treat them like they're children
Yeah.
for the most part.
Absolutely.
But,
Yeah. Mark's got
I mean-
or Dreadbull. Sorry, he has a ferocious dog.
Ferocious 12-pound Yorkie.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't hunt. Well, he likes to chase birds, but he never catches them.
Yeah.
We don't
Those
really
little legs. Those little legs can't get him that far.
Yeah. He
Those
feels good
Yorkies-
chasing them.
Those Yorkies chase my 80-pound labs around the yard.
Yeah, they think they're way bigger than they are.
They are. Yep.
Well, the labs act, they have no clue. I don't know what the deal is, but my dogs those small dogs will chase them around like they're,
That's funny. Yeah.
12 foot tall, and they run away from them like they are too.
That's survival.
It's all about
It's kind of
attitude.
like being in prison and you're the small guy. You just got to be more angry and go after them.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Not that I've been in prison.
You've read.
Not yet.
The
Not
serial
yet.
killing has gone unnoticed. So
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Again, we got 3 weeks before this comes out. And maybe
That's
I'll be on the investment.
yeah. We'll see. So how about you, Joe? Any hobbies that we know that we are aware of?
I have too fucking many. I mean, my main ones outside of this, I do. I have a whole guitar building Lutherie wood shop downstairs.
Oh,
I repair
nice.
guitars.
Oh, wow.
I actually got to finish Richard's guitar before tomorrow. I should just
Are
fucking.
you building solid body? Are you building acoustics?
I mainly build solid bodies at the moment, but I do have done a couple acoustics.
Oh, nice.
So that's a very expensive, hobby. It's actually how I lived for when I was touring. When I was touring was part of guitar teching. And then when I was on off tech time or off the road, I was repairing guitars and stuff like that. It's a catch-22. If you do any kind of guitar repairs, you become so damn busy with guitar repairs, you can't build. And so I decided to cut out the customer side of it, other than my close customers that I wanted to keep, and so I could build more. and then I jumped into 2 fucking bands, so now I have no time. So
And I follow a couple of luthiers on Instagram, and I can just watch their videos for hours, just watching them make guitars. And it's like, oh my God. Some of them do like completely by hand.
Yep.
You know, some of them do machinery, a combination of both.
Yep.
No, that's awesome. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
that is great.
Yeah.
He
All
is
right,
amazing, by the way. Like absolutely fantastic. And like I'm very particular and detail oriented. He does a fantastic job on his work.
Well, if
All
I am ever in a
legends.
mood or a market for a guitar, I have an old Flying V that I bought that I'm going to have completely like stripped down and new fretboard and frets, and all the electronics needs to be rewired. I'm getting it repainted. But it was an old Antares Flying
Okay,
V.
yeah.
I got for like in I want to say 1989,
Yeah.
something like that, 1990. I got a guitar and a distortion pedal and a strap for $125. I'm like,
Yep.
well, hey, I'll take that.
I think those were Matsumuko, which is he's a luthier out of Japan. He used to do those. He used to do Araya Pros. He used to do Westone. A lot of those kind of offshoot V's and cool guitars from the 80s. They were all done by him.
Oh, it's nice. It's got some nice. It's not just a straight V. There's some nice, some carving and nice, lines.
Oh,
Those
nice.
are nice, Richard. Very
Those are
cool.
some beauties there. Did you
So,
make any of those,
yeah.
Joe?
No.
No?
Do you want to talk
the
real
bass
quick
I play
about
in Ashes I made? So
Absolutely. Take us on a tour here.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Well, so I just was showing this one specifically because the headstock was completely broke off and he fixed the whole thing. I mean, like just broke off. And I got a good deal on it. And, Joe repaired the whole thing and I have been playing this thing nonstop. So,
Oh, nice.
and then, yeah, I guess just real quick tour. I like Les Pauls.
Mhm. They're
And
heavy.
that's my solar.
Yeah.
So,
There we go.
yeah.
Wow.
And let me just do quick on the amps real quick.
Excellent.
not only are those on the Ashes
Cool,
record, those amps
cool.
are on the Finality record coming out too.
Oh, nice.
Richard did all the reamps for me for the record. So
Fantastic. I only have one good amp story. I had an old Vox Buckingham. It was a solid state, but it was a spring reverb, had a head and cabinet. And I ended up selling it to a Beatles tribute band,
nice.
to the Paul McCartney, because he comes up to me. I didn't know who these guys were because we just met over the phone. And he's like, introduced me, and he's in his English accent. Oh, I'm the Paul, I'm like, oh, nice. Okay. It was a gorgeous amp. I regret selling it now, but I needed the money. But when I bought it, it was covered in gray shag carpeting, both the head and the cab, because the guy who owned it was a carpet maker, or layer carpet. He was a carpenter. So I'm like, what? But it was used to be played by was Earl Scruggs, Lester Fat and Earl Scruggs, the bluegrass guys. It was like one of his amps. And I played it and he said the clean sound is great. So I plug it in, clean sound. I'm like, oh Lord, this is beautiful. It's kind of like it was just beautiful sounding. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that. And it was loud and it was all I needed, But that's the only amp store I got. So Paul McCartney somewhere has my old Vox Buckingham. Hopefully he got the gray shed carpet off of it. I used to call it Cousin It.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, guys, we got a game called Blast Beats. And this is where I'm just gonna go back and forth. Usually we ask one person. I'm gonna ask you a quick question, or, just a simple multiple choice. You give me the answer as soon as you can, back and forth. So I'm gonna go back and forth between you. That way we're gonna divvy it up. We'll start with you, Joe. Joe, hot dog or hamburger?
Hot dogs.
Richard, favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Joe, paperback or Kindle?
Paperback.
Richard, PC or Apple?
PC.
Joe, favorite streaming service?
Right now it'd have to be fucking I don't even know. Disney Plus. We'll go with that.
Yeah. All right. Richard, favorite ice cream flavor?
Moose Tracks.
Moose knuckles.
Joe, dog or cat?
Cat, as you saw him jumping around here earlier.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, nice, excellent. Richard, Marvel or DC?
Shit, I don't know. Marvel. I'm going with Marvel. I honestly don't know. I don't pay that much attention.
Okay. Joe, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Richard, Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster?
Bigfoot. Fuck yeah.
Joe, Dracula or Frankenstein?
Dracula for sure.
Richard, how do you like your steak cooked?
Rare.
Joe, favorite sport.
Professional wrestling.
Richard, favorite movie snack.
Chips.
All right, Joe, favorite subjects in school.
Sciences.
Richard, least favorite subject in school.
Math.
Everybody says that.
Yeah,
It's
Joe,
everybody. Every
yeah.
musician's worst subject is math.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Joe, favorite board game.
There was an old game called Axis and Allies that would take forever to play.
Yes, I love that game. Yeah, if
Mhm.
you have it on the PC, if you have a computer, you could just play it so much faster.
I do.
Yes, it's just so much better. Yes, Axis and Allies is great. The Milton Bradley strategy series,
Yep.
Game Master series. Okay, Richard, Spielberg or Tarantino?
Tarantino.
All right,
Pretentious.
Joe, favorite Christmas gift.
My guitar.
All right, Richard, your celebrity crush.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, he already
There
answered
you
that.
go.
Don't
Joe,
care if it's a male.
hey, that's fine.
That's fine.
Hey, nothing wrong with the man crush.
Little man crush. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe, the best concert you've ever attended?
Metallica, Guns N' Roses, 92.
And Richard, your favorite scene from This Is Spinal Tap, or your favorite line from This Is Spinal Tap?
Oh crap! I only watched that one time, and it was years ago. I have to go with the cliche. This goes to 11.
All right, hey, it works,
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, this game, gentlemen, is called the Hot Seat. I'm going to name a band, and you're going to tell me your favorite album from that band.
Yeah,
All right,
yep.
Richard, we're going to start with you. Black Sabbath.
Headless Cross.
All right, Joe, Judas Priest.
Painkiller.
All right, Richard, Scorpions.
Oh man, I don't even know any of their albums. Shit.
That's why it's called the
JP.
hot seat.
That's
We need
right.
JP.
Yeah, it's
The
okay if
one
you don't
with-
know. It's okay, man.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
one with and I'm gonna go with because that was about the era when I would like all their music.
Mhm.
Okay, Joe, Overkill.
Overkill is going to be WFO.
Nice. All right, Richard, Queensryche.
What the hell's the name of that damn album? The concept one.
Operation
Mind
Mindcrime.
crime.
Minecraft.
Yes.
Mindcrime. Yeah.
Yes.
Joe, Iced Earth.
Something Wicked.
Nice.
Dark Saga. Shit.
Horror Show.
Saga.
Oh,
Horror show. He's
yeah,
got an
Horror
answer
Show-
too.
Yeah. It's all that's
Oh,
good.
those are both great.
Richard, Motley Crue.
Damn it. I don't know any of theirs either.
Hot seat. Hot seat.
Hot
strikes
seat.
again.
Feeling hot now. No problem, man. It's all right. Joe, Motorhead.
It's gonna be fuck. I don't know if it's the album or not. Bomber.
Carcass. Richard.
What was the one that came out before the last one that
Surgical
just came
Steel.
out? Yes, that album
Yeah.
ruled.
That's fucking great. It's like 30 years have passed. No time has
Yep.
passed. Yeah, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Joe, Dio.
That one is gonna have to be it had to be Holy Diver
All right, Richard, Van Halen.
or Magica.
Yeah,
Their first album is great.
Van Halen one.
And
All right.
one.
Joe, Metal Church.
Metal Church, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Son of
Is
a
that one of their albums?
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. I
was
can't
the
remember the name.
third
I
one.
think it's the first one, self-titled, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's the one I
Yeah,
would go with.
great album.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard, the Beatles.
I hate the Beatles.
All right, you and Dreadbull. Yeah,
Same
Finally.
here.
Kindred
finally
spirit.
another. All right, no problem
None.
there. It's
Take
okay.
Stones over the Beatles any day.
Nice.
Joe, Halloween.
Halloween, that's a good one. I mean, obviously a keeper. You know, the
Mhm.
both those are great, but
Yeah.
fucking Better Than Raw is phenomenal. as
It
well.
really is.
It's a great album.
I
Yeah.
think that tops Keeper.
Dude,
It's a classic of
Push.
an album, but
Push
Yes.
is seriously one of the best heavy metal songs.
Mhm.
written.
Yeah. Okay, Richard
call.
Brush.
Don't know any Rush either. I'm sorry, I suck ass at this.
Man, Richard, I don't know if we're gonna have you back.
That
on
was like a
anymore.
mic drop right there.
Just air sucked out of the room. Like, what? What? You call yourself a rap musician?
Say moving pictures, Richard.
There you go. All right. There you
See,
go.
that's why we ended up calling this hot seat, because we
Yeah.
would do these and it would make people so uncomfortable if they didn't know an album from the band, and we're like, "Oh, we didn't realize this was going to make people so uncomfortable.
right. Exactly.
We're going to call it hot seat because people just squirm. and
Yeah, or they
"Oh,
like, oh, I don't like,
don't
or I
wanna
don't know
admit it."
that band. I don't, yeah, and
It's
exactly because they're
fine.
thinking, and that's totally cool with us because you know
Yeah.
you like what you like, you don't
Yep.
like it. If you don't, you can't listen to everything.
Yeah.
Well, we also have a ringer in the band too. If JP were here, he knows every band. He could tell you every lyric from every band. Like his encyclopedia knowledge is just amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if we played this with JP.
I
when he was
don't
on.
know. I don't remember. I mean, I can go
Yeah, I
back
don't
and look at
remember it
it, but
either.
I don't remember. Okay, so Joe, we are on to Opeth.
Opeth, I'm gonna go with Still Life.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, Richard. King Diamond.
Richard sweating.
No, I love King Diamond.
All right. Hot seat's
Man,
cooling
this is
down.
hard. I'm gonna go with the Eye. I love the Eye.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
good one.
nice,
Oh, nice.
nice. Yeah, no one said the I before. That's all
Mhm.
right. Okay, Joe, Maiden.
Maiden, it's gonna have to be, and this is controversial, X Factor.
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
I
well,
fucking love that record.
wow.
Wow.
I love the way it sounds. It's got a great engineered sound, but if you listen to one of our earlier shows, we did a Maiden bottoms up where we talked about X
We
Factor.
ranked all the Maiden
we
albums.
did,
yeah.
we did. Before we really kind of knew what our format was going to be, we just started the show like, let's talk about Iron Maiden. Let's rank all the albums, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
shit, I'm gonna go back and listen to it.
Yeah, it's like our episode number 2 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard, let's go. We only got a few more. Testament.
Does First Strike Still Deadly? No. Yeah. First Strike
Yeah.
Still Dead. That was the one that we made, right?
Yeah, they remade
Mhm.
some of the old classics. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
Can I
upgrade.
Because I love that one.
It's
I
a
think
good
it's-
album.
It's a great album. I
Yeah, it
really
is.
like
Yeah.
the remakes.
Yeah, there's those songs are classic. You
Mhm.
know. Okay, Joe, Anthrax.
Anthrax has got to be Sound of White Noise.
Oh, it's a great
Oh,
album.
that is a good album.
Yeah, it is. I like Stomp 442 as well.
it's a good
Yeah,
one.
that was John Bush era. Those John Bush albums
John,
are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I like it.
As
God, I
a
haven't
kid, I
listened to
remember
that in ages.
liking the '80s, Belladonna era more than anything else. But as I kind of grew up and got more, just John Bush just had so much attitude and rawness to it. I loved it.
Mhm.
I really wish he would have taken that gig in Metallica.
Oh yeah. Well, he's back to his old band, and they're
Yep.
doing well. And I tried to reach out and get him on board, but that wasn't happening. So
I saw a triple bill one time: Anthrax, Megadeth, and Testament all in one night.
Killer Bill.
That was great. That was the Belladonna era. That was a while ago.
Yeah, they were also on the what was it? Clash the Titans.
Yep.
So Alice in Chains, and then Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. That was
Mhm.
a great show.
Sure.
Okay, well, speaking of Megadeth, Richard, that's yours. Next one, Megadeth.
Dystopia. I love that record.
Oh,
All right,
that's a good one.
Joe, Slayer.
It's gonna have to be Divine Intervention.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah, good one. And the last one, Richard, Kiss. Oh, Rich,
Hotter than hell.
Dreadbull, you just found a new best friend.
I really like Richard.
Yeah.
He is the man.
Yeah, Dreadbull hates Kiss as well, and not anymore. It's just become he's dug his heels in the sand for so long. You know, he can't.
It was just to make Montag mad at me, but not, I can't go back now. I've
That's
done
right.
it for so long.
Yeah,
like,
he can't.
I have a couple bands like that too.
I can't even let
Yeah.
myself like it.
No,
It now.
You did admit that Destroyer was a great album cover, though. You did admit
That was a good album. Yeah, it's a great.
It's a good album cover, right? It is.
Mhm.
It's phenomenal. It's better than what some of the songs inside. I get it. I get it.
It's funny because most of the guests are like, "Yeah, Kiss," one of their favorite bands of all time.
Mhm.
I just have to sit here quietly.
Well, they're coming
Thanks,
from our
Richard.
era. Like, some of our stars grew up in that, time, and our guests grew up in the '70s, and Kiss
Mhm.
was all over the place. I mean, you couldn't avoid it.
Yeah.
All right, we got one last game for both of you. This is going to be an interactive game. This is called Name That Festival. All right. Among These Ashes is playing a festival with 2 other artists. I'm going to spin the wheel of mystery, and we're going to find these other 2 bands. And then I would like you to name the festival that you are all playing at. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Hold on here. Let me share.
Wow. It's
Bring
really
up the-
interactive.
Yeah, we're very fancy here.
Now you guys can collaborate to come
Yes.
to name this
okay,
festival.
so here it is. Can
Oh,
you see the
shit.
wheel? All right, we're gonna spin it.
Could be the likes of Lady Gaga, Justin
Dude, I want to
Bieber.
play Wham.
Yeah, it's
Wham!
in there.
Oh,
Wham
yeah.
is in there.
Among the Ashes and Wham?
It's Among the Ashes and looks
You
like
Two?
U2.
Okay.
Okay, U2 is one of the bands. All right. And
Oh,
now U2, Among These Ashes, U2, and who else?
Maybe
is
we should
coming?
also add who's headliner. We want you to.
Wham!
Wham!
There it is.
It
Make
is
it
Wham.
big. Nice. All right. So here's the festival. We got Among These Ashes, yeah, of course, Among These Ashes is headlining, of course. So
Yeah, fuck Bono.
yeah, we've got U2's opening, then Wham, and then Among These Ashes. What are you going to call this festival, guys?
Go ahead, Joe. I'm not feeling
Yeah.
great. I need to think
Um,
about it.
Christ. There's the serious side of me, and then there's the goofy side. So I'm just gonna go with Goofies
Yes.
because all those bands on one thing I caught Schizo Fest.
It's so
Because
fast.
pretty much
That's great.
anybody's listening to all
Yeah.
those type of bands, you gotta
Right.
be a little bit off.
If you
Yeah,
can find the
you gotta pick a
crossover between
direction in
all
your life.
three of
Yep,
these,
right.
That's great.
Among These Asses.
nice.
You
Oh,
should send them that
okay.
logo.
that's
Richard.
that's going to be the next album cover. Just a really tight up, close anus. That is
Well,
fantastic.
wow.
I have to
Oh.
send it to you, but we did have our logo made as dicks.
Nice.
Oh,
It's like
man.
the shirt I had when I was in college. It had these skeletons in different sexual positions, and it said "boners" in bones. Bones. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I saw it. I'm like, I gotta wear that. That's gonna bring all the chicks my way. No, it was a band shirt when I was playing out. That's the all kind of the stuff I would wear. So yeah, I get it. All right, well, that's
Beautiful.
awesome.
Great.
That was great. One thing we'd like to find out, because we are all fans, obviously, of other artists. So what is your favorite piece of memorabilia that you've gotten from another band or artist? Something that you're like, yeah, I collect this, or I got this. So do you have a favorite piece?
Hold on, let me see if I can do it. So, can you see that right there?
I can see you like standing up and opening a case.
Oh, Iced Earth.
Yeah, I got that back when that album came out in like early 2000 from the record store. They had it, and I guess that's probably one of the most memorable pieces I got. I don't usually end up going out and get collector stuff or anything like
Mhm.
that, but
That's a great album.
kept that up.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I love that album too.
I love
So-
Barlow, but man, Ripper did a great job on when he was with them.
yeah,
He
he did.
fucking
Oh,
did.
Joe,
on the
Joe
outside
Grunts. Joe Grunts. No, didn't like
No, you
his
don't.
work.
No, not a
No,
fan of
didn't
the
I
like
Ripper.
unfortunately got to see them on the first tour with Ripper, and he pissed me off because he had his hat over his fucking eyes. He was staring down at the lyric sheet. No pro.
Oh, bummer.
Oh,
Oh, that's a shame. Maybe that's why he didn't last in the band. Maybe
Nah.
they weren't real thrilled with his effort.
Fuhrer Schaefer screwed him over too. So
Yeah, I'd heard something that he got fired via email or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
no, that's
Didn't
kind of
even-
shitty.
yeah,
That's real shitty.
I mean, I'm sorry. At least you can do is just have a sit down
Just
with the
have a
guy and just say,
discussion, you
look,
know?
look, it's not working out. I mean, that happens in bands an awful lot of times. Things, this
Mhm.
chemistry doesn't work, but oh, that's bad. Nice. Okay. So Joe, what is your piece of memorabilia?
Got a whole case of shit, but the one thing I do is this Guar book. And the reason why I do it is this is the history
dude.
of Guar. It's a fucking great book if you get it. It's a nice tabletop book. But the biggest thing is like the guys while we were on tour went around and had them do like the yearbook thing from high school.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Fucking
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
That is really
That's
cool.
awesome. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Dreadbull, what's your favorite piece of memorabilia?
Oh my God. Yeah, maybe maybe that bottle that Bruce threw at me.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. dude.
Although I don't
was
know if
gonna
I
ask
have
you
that
still had it.
anymore. I think that might have got lost in a move at some point, unfortunately.
Nice.
But I do have a signed poster, an Anthrax poster, Judge Dredd, that was signed by all the members.
Nice.
That's a really cool piece. My cousin gave me that when he
Oh,
was
yeah.
out when they toured with Anthrax. My cousin, by the way, is a drummer. He played drums for Ripper in his solo project,
Oh, okay.
Beyond
okay.
Fear. Yeah, so they got to tour a little bit, and so
Nice.
yeah, we had
Nice.
him on one time. He told a lot of cool
Mhm.
stories and stuff. But yeah, he gave me that poster a long time ago. That's
He's,
really cool.
Ripper's such a cool guy. I mean, I didn't really dig the the Iced Earth albums he was on, but the dude is still, when I've met him, he's been a cool guy. He just took our friends in Salvation's End out and did a few runs with them, and
Nice.
just stand up dude. So
That's cool. Yeah, I'd like to get him on the show. So we can
Yeah, that'd be cool.
talk to Eric. Tell him, hey, call Ripper.
Yeah,
you know?
hey,
yeah.
I'll
Eric
reach out to Tim and see if he can get a hold of Ripper for you. So
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
right,
Yeah,
right,
please.
Cool.
they're still pretty good friends. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd love that.
Yeah, he'd actually said they had a lot of material for another Beyond Fear album. Actually, kind of worked out, but it just never. Ripper never kind of put in the effort to get it all.
Well, I thought it was more the studio.
Finalized.
Like they just couldn't get the money. That wasn't being successful. They weren't, getting tours. They weren't just making money because of the music was changing. I thought that was.
Yeah, he
that was
regrets
part
it.
of
He said it was great. He said it was way better than the first album.
That was
Unfortunately.
2000, late 2000s, 2000s.
Yeah, that's a pretty good while ago now.
Mhm.
In that time, it was still fucking super pricey to come up with a good record. Nowadays you can pretty much do everything in your house, which is great.
True.
But
Yeah.
it just means everybody and their brother has an album coming out.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Well, speaking of new album coming out, this is our last question we're going to ask you. What are your plans for the rest of 2022 and 2023? Like, I know you got new music coming out, so you got a tour. Is something else? What's going on with Among These Ashes?
You want me to answer, Joe?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I can talk about this because this is going to air in a couple weeks, and we have an announcement on Monday that we are opening for Raven at the Sanctuary in Detroit.
Nice.
And I would love it if you guys could come up. I know it's probably a pain in the ass drive, but would love to see you guys there if you guys could come.
And when is
So-
that happening?
Monday.
It's October.
on Monday.
Well, the announcement's coming out on Monday.
Okay,
but-
when's the show? In October?
Yeah,
October.
The show is October 15th. It's a Saturday,
Okay.
and it's
Okay.
in Hamtramck, which is just a little bit north of Detroit.
Ham sandwich.
So
Yeah, I'll have to see what's
Okay.
what's going on. I can't guarantee anything, but it'd be nice to see you guys. I haven't been to
Oh,
a show
that'd be
over
that'd be
years.
sweet, man.
yeah, I totally understand. That's a
Yeah.
long drive, kind of
Yeah.
a big, but definitely wanted to invite you guys. So
Well, thank you.
that's kind
Thank
of
you. Yes.
that's a big deal for us because we've done. I'm going to say we've done one show now. We had another show in there that was just kind of like, let's get out and play live and get used to it and everything. So this is the second show, but we're opening for an international band. So I think that's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Ravens,
Cool.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands. I mean, a lot of the people that we've met on the show, like Lady Beast, Deb Levine. She was just so awesome, and she's just in Pittsburgh, just a couple hours away. You guys are about 3 hours away.
Mhm.
There's a lot of bands we'd love to go see, and now hopefully, when the plague kind of dies down a little bit, somewhat, but it'd be nice to go to see shows again. I just miss that live music. I just miss that.
Yep. I just
Oh.
went to a fest store a couple weeks ago and ended up getting COVID. So.
Oh yeah, see,
Yeah.
And
Great. You
I
finally get out and boom.
Yep. Right.
You
And
know?
then,
Right. Yeah, and I've got a compromised immune system, and I just I've avoided getting it, and this is my office too. This is where I work. Everything I work is online, so it's a pain in the ass not to get to see people, but at the same time, okay, it's a necessity, unfortunately, right now.
Yep.
So, but anyway, last thing.
Did you have anything else? Did I?
Oh, we got the new.
Was that it, Richard? I feel like he had something else to say there.
we
Oh
got
yeah, we did. So we got some stuff that's going to hopefully come out this winter. I'm tracking for it right now. We're going to have a single that comes out. And then Joe talked about it a little bit. I'm not going to say too much, but there's going to be a Sabotage cover that goes along with that.
Nice.
And it's going to be,
I sit here and wonder what song you're covering. Oh,
I can't tell you, but it's going to be ATA style. It's going to be very aggressive. It's going to be very heavy.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it's surprise you a bit, I think. But when people tell me it's going to surprise them, I'm like, oh shit, what does that mean? Very good surprise.
interesting.
And
Okay.
so we've got
Nice.
the vinyl release of Dominion and Throne that's going to happen this winter.
Blown Records is putting that out for
Alone
us.
Records, and we're going to re-release one of our songs, Veil of Black, off of that album. And we did it with kind of made it into a duet. So we brought a female singer in. Her name's Brooke, and she plays in a band called Lady Luna, I think it is, right?
Lady Luna and the Devil.
Yep, Lady Luna does. Very nice girl. She did a great job in it, and that's going to kind of come out to accompany the vinyl release.
Cool.
And as
That's
far as
exciting.
shows, we're not going to be doing the headlong into touring thing. It's just most of us have done it, and it's very hard to keep things going that way right now, especially. But that being said, we're looking for opportunities. I was trying to get us on Mad with Power last year, which was just a few weeks ago. Traveler was on it, so I'm going to keep trying to bug them into putting us on there. So if they're listening, we're ready. And any other fests that we can possibly jump on, we definitely want to take part of, and kind of do that. If we do any kind of touring, it's going to be like the little mini runs, when we come down
Sure.
hit where you guys are up in Ohio, do Pittsburgh, come back up and do that. I think we're working on something with Salvation's End for some time in the spring to do a little run like that. So
Cool. Well, I know Deb has her Metal Fest every, I want to say July, in Pittsburgh. So, I can make the connection between
Yeah,
the
that'd be
two.
great.
I can
That'd
hook
be
you guys up. Yeah. And she's awesome. So, we had a great time with her. She's just so much fun. And that's one thing I like about this show. What I found so amazing is like, getting to meet you guys and like just staying in contact through social media. It's just been crazy when, someone like Mark Brighty, from Jag
Yeah.
Panzer, like, says, hey, and he gives me some information, like, don't tell anyone. So it's, I can't even tell
Awesome.
you, Dread. I promise him secrecy, but I got some shit, man. You're going to freak out.
That man
He had mentioned when
is fucking awesome too. He's one of my
Yeah, we love
rhythm
them.
guitar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's stuff that you don't even know that
Nice.
some of it's been released since then, but he's like, I said, I won't even tell the guys. I won't tell anybody.
Nice.
So, it's like, yeah, it is crazy.
cool.
And Justin Biggs from Sorcerer, we'll chat. He's like, hey, here's a new song we're working on for the album. I'm like, fuck,
Nice.
yeah, it's like,
Nice.
it just blows my mind, that we get to do this. One thing we like to ask is if you wouldn't mind doing a bumper for us, introduce yourselves. This is Richard Clark. This is Joe Cady of Among These Ashes, and you're watching, or listening and watching Heavy Metal Horror, something like that. Watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Would that be cool? Would you guys be able to do that for us?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will turn it over to you.
Yeah.
And then it's fucking.
Oh no, now
Oh,
his
yeah,
connection
now
goes
it's
bad.
all- yeah,
This
we're gonna have to
connection goes
redo
to
that
shit.
one. Well,
This
Joe,
is
we'll start
Rich
with
Clark.
you, and then maybe
Might just be up
Richard's-
to Joe.
maybe his internet will be better by the time it comes to him. Why don't you do one,
Am I-
or you can. All right, I think you're on now, Richard. Okay.
This is Rich Clark.
Oh no. Oh no. It is not letting you.
Uh-oh, that's fantastic. Well, we're gonna try and see if the third time's a charm. All right, are you on there, Richard? Are
Walk
you?
towards the window, Richard.
There we go. Put your hand on the TV, touch the antenna, the aluminum foil on the head.
This is Richard Clark. God damn it. Are you going to say Joe Cady too?
No. I think we're doing separate. You want us to do them
Oh,
together?
you can do them both. I don't care. You can do them separate. Which one would you like to do? You want to do them together, like Richard Clark and Joe Cady?
If that's what you were planning, Richard, then we just thought it was your connection.
I
going
thought you were.
nuts.
Yeah, I thought you were just like broke off the connection every time. I think he's waiting on you, Joe,
All right.
to follow him. So okay,
Let's try it that way.
All right,
Take-
all right, let's try it.
This is Richard Clark
And Joe Cady.
of Among These Ashes, and you are listening to Heavy Metal Horror Podcast.
Nice.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, we're going to do our commercial and we're going to get out of here. But before we do that, we just want to thank you guys again for being on the show. It has been great to get to know you and learn a lot about you and exciting news about what's happening for you guys. And thanks for spending the time with us. We really appreciate it.
Dude,
Yeah.
thanks for having us, man.
So grateful for having guys like you out here to join us. And
Yeah. We hope you had a good time and had some fun with our questions. And
Yeah.
we try to come up with things that you're not going to get in a normal kind of interview.
No, the game segment, is fucking, that's awesome. That's the first time I've come across that in an interview. So it's
Nice. Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Hey, you can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com. Listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. And we're now on Roku, Hotel Metal Jam. If you know someone who would like our show, tell them about us. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
Dreadbull.
And you've been watching and listening to. Okay, guys, bring up the horns. Heavy metal horror.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.